There's a quiet kind of pain that doesn't scream. It lingers. It shows up in the middle of the night, in the silence after a long day, in the moments when your mind replays everything again and again. Not because you miss them, but because you never got closure. No real explanation, no honest goodbye, no moment where things actually made sense, just distance, and maybe a few words that felt incomplete, or worse, nothing at all. And so you wait. You wait for a message, an apology, a conversation that will finally make it all make sense. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. Closure rarely comes from the other person. And the longer you wait for it, the longer you stay stuck. We grow up believing that every story has an ending, that there's always a moment where everything is explained, where both people sit down, talk honestly, and say, "This is why it didn't work. This is what happened. This is where we go from here." But real life doesn't work like that, especially in relationships, because people don't always understand their own actions, let alone explain them clearly to someone else. Sometimes they leave because they're overwhelmed, sometimes because they're confused, sometimes because staying requires emotional depth they haven't developed yet. And instead of saying that, they disappear. Or they give you vague reasons. "I just need space. It's not you, it's me. I'm not ready." And you're left trying to decode what those words really mean. You analyze every sentence, every memory, every moment, trying to find the real reason, because you believe that once you understand, you'll finally feel at peace. But that belief is the trap. Because closure is not something someone else hands to you like an answer sheet. It's something you build painfully, slowly, on your own. Let's be honest about what closure really is. It's not just about understanding. It's about relief. It's about wanting the pain to stop. When a relationship ends without clarity, your brain doesn't register it as finished. It treats it like an unsolved problem, like a question that still needs an answer. And your mind keeps going back to it, because that's what the brain does. It tries to complete unfinished patterns. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, our tendency to remember unfinished experiences more vividly than completed ones. That's why you can't let it go. Not because you're weak, not because you're too attached, but because your brain is literally trying to close a loop that was never properly closed. And here's where it gets even harder. When someone leaves without giving you closure, you don't just lose them, you lose your sense of certainty. You start questioning everything. Was it real? Did I miss something? Was I not enough? And that uncertainty becomes addictive, because your mind believes that if you could just talk to them one more time, you'd finally understand. But most of the time, that conversation never gives you what you think it will. This is the part that hurts the most. The reason they didn't give you closure is often the same reason the relationship didn't work. Let's break that down. 1, they lack emotional awareness. Some people don't fully understand their own feelings. They act on impulse, discomfort, or avoidance without ever reflecting deeply on why. So when you ask them for answers, they genuinely don't have them. Or worse, they give you answers that aren't true, just to end the conversation. 2, they avoid discomfort. Closure requires honesty, and honesty can be uncomfortable. It means admitting things like, "I lost feelings. I wasn't as invested as you. I chose the easier option instead of working through this. Not everyone is willing to face that, so they avoid the conversation altogether. Silence becomes their escape. 3. They've already moved on emotionally. By the time a relationship ends, one person has usually been detaching for a while. They've processed the ending internally. They've already accepted it. But you haven't. So when you're asking for closure, they're already past the point of needing it. And that creates a painful imbalance. You're searching for answers. They're trying to move forward. 4. Giving you closure means facing guilt. Sometimes they know they hurt you, and facing you means confronting that guilt directly. So instead of owning it, they distance themselves. Not because you didn't deserve closure, but because they weren't strong enough to give it. Waiting for closure feels passive, but it's actually one of the most emotionally draining things you can do. Because while you're waiting, you're not healing, you're not moving forward, you're not letting go. You're stuck in a loop of maybe. Maybe they'll text, maybe they'll explain, maybe they'll come back. And that maybe becomes a quiet prison. It keeps you emotionally tied to someone who is no longer choosing you. And here's the hard truth. Every day you wait for closure from them is a day you delay closure for yourself. Closure is not a conversation, it's a decision. It's the moment you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what do I do with this now? Real closure sounds like this. I may never fully understand why they left, but I accept that they did. I may never get the apology I deserve, but I won't keep waiting for it. I may still have questions, but I won't let those questions control my life. Closure is choosing peace without having all the answers. And that's incredibly difficult because it means letting go of the hope that one day everything will suddenly make sense. This is where the shift happens, not instantly, not perfectly, but intentionally. 1. Stop replaying the story. You don't need to revisit every detail to understand it. At some point, replaying becomes self-harm disguised as reflection. 2. Accept what you felt was real, even if it ended badly, even if they changed, even if it didn't last. Your feelings were real, and that matters. 3. Let go of the perfect explanation. There is no single sentence that will suddenly fix everything. Even if they gave you one, it wouldn't erase the pain. 4. Redirect the energy back to yourself. Instead of asking, why did they do this? Start asking, what do I need to heal? Because closure isn't about understanding them. It's about taking care of you. 5. Make peace with unanswered questions. Some questions will never be answered, and that's okay. Not everything in life resolves neatly, but your life can still move forward, even without those answers. One day you'll realize something quietly powerful. You stopped thinking about them as often. You stopped needing answers. You stopped waiting. Not because everything suddenly made sense, but because you chose to move forward anyway. Closure didn't come from them. It came from you. From the moment you decided, I deserve peace, even without explanation. And that's when healing truly begins.